So it's a pleasure to be here and with you. I think it's a wonderful event. That's my first time here. And I happen to be just after your lunch. So it's maybe not the best moment, but we try to give you as much energy as possible. So I'm going to start actually by asking you a quick question. Think about your monthly business operational reviews or weekly. How many slides do you typically put together for these meetings? A lot? Yeah? 5, 20, 50, 100? At Hewlett Packard Enterprise, we typically put together a 120 pages slide set on a weekly basis for this type of reviews on a weekly basis with our CEO. So we spend days preparing, essentially within finance, but also within operations, to prepare for that meeting, to prepare this slide set. And the irony is, after spending all of this time, we get to the meeting and a lot of the data is already outdated. That's when we realized that we needed to change something radically in our operational performance process. And that's what I want to talk to you about, our journey to transform the finance organization, but also more specifically, this very important process, because at the end of the day, this is how we make sure as a company, we execute to our plans, we deliver our financial commitments, so very essential process. And that transformation, we are doing it with AI and with partnership, such as with the Deloitte firm that we have been now partnering with for the past 18 months. So indeed, over the past 18 months, we started that journey to transform the finance organization under the leadership of Mary Myers, the CFO. And this was really all about not just creating more dashboards, not adding more reports, but by trying to fundamentally answer a simple question, which is, how could we spend less time as finance professionals crunching the data, validating it, and reinvest that time to help shape the future of a business, or simply improve a business trajectory when we execute it. So that's what I would like to cover today, and essentially 3 topics I will be covering. The first one would be how we have actually reimagined our operational performance review process. We call it OPR at Hewlett Packard Enterprise, this weekly thing that has 120 plus pages. And the second thing is how we've been using AI to actually enable that vision. So I'll walk you through that. And last but not least, I want to share a little demo. And I know in this audience, there are many companies who are specialized in automating, creating visualization. So I don't pretend to be better, but at least I'm showing you how we are transforming it, how we are leveraging our own capabilities and the new AI tools to be able to fundamentally transform the way we run the business. So what is the problem that we faced beyond the 120 pages document that we eventually put together on a weekly basis is that actually before that, we need to collect the data, retrieve the data from multiple sources because we have many different KPIs that we use and different businesses using different KPIs. For networking, it's different than our server business or our storage business. Services, different than products. So it creates a multiplicity of data sources and complexity. And then we need to validate, consolidate this data. Eventually, we analyze it when we have time, and we make sure that we can put together this comprehensive slide deck. And we come to the meeting at the end of this process, not only the data sometimes is outdated, but we got a very smart question from our CEO, and we can't find the answer in this 120 pages document. And we have to follow up. It takes a couple of days to answer by email. Not very efficient and effective as a process. So we started to think about what should it be. And we defined a vision for it. Because the real problem that we started with is actually the data is very static. And all this reporting is very static in nature. So it's not really that we can't report, we can't analyze the data. All of this is super static. But the business is moving really fast. With this example of the CEO, that question was potentially coming from a customer meeting he just had. And he wanted to know this information. So how can we be more real time? That's a key attribute that we wanted. The number two is that we can't just be handling questions through emails. We need to be giving better access to our business leaders to the data so that they are on a much more self-serve basis going forward, which will create efficiencies for our finance organization, but also create a better experience for the business leader. And the third thing, it would be great if we could interact with the data, like in a meeting, answer the question directly by accessing a dashboard and putting the question in there and getting the answer. So that's our vision. We defined it more than a year ago. And in fact, part of the inspiration for this vision was what we deliver as solutions for our customers. I'm from the networking business, and we have solutions to help CIOs manage better their network, manage the bandwidth. For instance, I don't know, less than 100 people in this room may be connected. There are 200 in the other room or less, whatever. You need to be able to manage this bandwidth effectively. So we build a software that does that automatically. It's autonomous, and that creates amazing experience for customers. On top of that, we have machine learning models, so it helps detecting issues before they actually come, to do self-healing. And the other thing is that the CIOs basically uses his screen and see everything that is going on within his network with a heat map. And you can imagine it's extremely helpful for him to actually manage, understand what's going on, and even address an issue before somebody is raising an IT ticket. So very powerful. So if we do that for our customers, why can't we do that in finance? So that was with this inspiration in mind that we started to build what we called CFO Insights. As an allusion, the CIO, the CFO, we want insights, CFO Insights. But internally at HPE, we call it Alfred. And for those of you who know a little bit of the Batman movie series, Alfred is the butler that keeps everything running. He's the one who provides intelligence. He's the one who provides tools. He's the one who provides some wisdom on those attributes that we would like to have out of our platform and as finance professionals. So we started to build on Alfred. And it's been a journey of 18 months. We have, first thing to do is aligning the organization and the different stakeholders about the vision. It took several months to do that, and then the big task is actually structuring the data, understanding what data we need, how do we structure it. And unfortunately, Hewlett Packard Enterprise is an IT company, so you could say, wow, we should be able to structure our data very well. But we have also 80 years of history. So we have layers of system accumulated over time, making it very complex to retrieve information. We simplify every 5 years, this new project to simplify all of this, but it's quite an undertaking. And so what we started to build is a database, a platform that allows us to retrieve all of this data that we need in order to create an output, a visualization for our business leaders that would be impactful and meaningful. It's 500 million plus data line items that we are managing in this platform. And we are starting also to basically transpose what we do in a 100-page slide deck into this visualization dashboard. Don't worry, you will see it in a minute. I will show you a demo. And also, I think what we are adding on top is not just the automation, but it's actually AI capabilities, such as machine learning models, so that we can create a heat map that is meaningful to manage the business, as an example, or early warning systems. And the other thing is that we are building generative AI on top of it so that we can interact with the platform. So we expect, by the time we are finished with this, that we will be able to reduce by 40% the processing time. And it's not just in the cycle time to enable these weekly operational reviews. It's big on its own, its efficiencies, but the biggest thing is that we can reinvest this 40% into helping the business interpret the data, create smart action plans, course correct things that are underperforming, or accelerate things that are doing well. So I was mentioning we started this journey about 18 months ago, but we are still in that journey. We started with this phase of establishing the vision, setting up the project, building the structure for the data to be pooled. We are using our private cloud AI solution at Hewlett Packard Enterprise so that the privacy and the sensitivity of the data is maintained. And we are developing the KPI, testing, developing. It takes actually probably more than we thought to make sure that it can run to this type of 360 visualization of a business that we envision. And we are probably, by now you see version 1 and version 64. So we've been doing many, many upgrades. And that's one of the lessons of this transformation is actually it takes time. It takes experimentation, and you need to be persistent with it. But now we are in this phase where we feel pretty proud of what we have achieved, pretty close to its operationalization. And that's what we are now going to go through. And why we think it's very close to this operationalization milestone is that we can already see through this tool what we envision. So we have a real-time pulse of the business with the KPIs that are meaningful to manage the business. So a dynamic update of all these KPI is happening. We can already start streamlining the meeting preparation. So it's happening as a double bubble right now. There's still this 100 pages deck, unfortunately. But in parallel, FP&A community can leverage the platform to prepare for the meeting. And then we are starting to develop, enhance, enrich this interaction capability with GenAI to create the type of answers that not only finance professionals will like and appreciate, but also our business leaders. And so that vision is starting to become a reality. But by that time, you say, are you faking it, or does it exist? So let me show you how we are making it real with this little demo and video from our partner, Deloitte. Yep.
Welcome. Today, I want to share with you how CFO Insights is transforming the way finance leaders work. Right now, finance teams spend countless hours preparing reports, synthesizing data, and answering executives' questions. often working with stale information by the time it reaches leadership. Meanwhile, these executives are waiting hours or days for the insights that they need to make time-sensitive decisions. CFO Insights reimagines this entirely. It's a digital worker that's part of Deloitte's Zora AI agentic portfolio that transforms finance from stewards and operators of the numbers into strategic catalysts for the business. When you open up CFO Insights, you'll land at the Insights Hub. This is your dynamic, personalized view of what matters most to you. Think of it as your one-stop shop to provide an inch-deep, mile-wide view of business performance at a glance. You have KPIs that you care about most at the top, an AI-generated news feed with stories about what's relevant today, not last week, and you've got critical information around relevant business data that's customized to your priorities. But here's what makes this different from any dashboards you've seen. You're not just seeing the numbers, you're getting the why behind them. Click any chat icon and the query portal opens, where a multi-agent system assesses your query, evaluates the type of response needed, identifies which metrics to pull, and crafts the relevant insights, all working together to help you understand what's going on in your business and the drivers behind the numbers. This delivers contextual insights in minutes, unlocking the elusive self-service reporting that finance has been chasing for years. This is first-order insights to understand what's going on behind the numbers and help further investigate your data. You'll see a visualization of the information you requested, as well as drill-down tables to validate what data CFO Insights pulled to be able to answer your question. But that's not all. The agent becomes your co-pilot for guided exploration with recommendations on follow-up topics to further investigate, as well as you have the ability to personalize and interactive outputs with feedback incorporated through the thumbs up or thumbs down. But picture this. You're in a meeting, someone asks a critical question, and you don't have the answer. Traditionally, this takes hours or days to follow up on. It's often too late for timely action. Now you have the ability to ask the question and get the answer in minutes with full context. That's the power of having AI-generated insights at your fingertips. But what if you want standard performance reporting that your teams are used to seeing? The Performance Pulse delivers standard reporting dynamically with real-time data and AI-generated commentary refreshed daily. This eliminates the need for endless review cycles to prepare management reporting, significantly accelerating or eliminating the traditional reporting cycle time entirely. No more waiting for prep cycles or working with stale numbers. Your finance teams can finally spend their time driving strategic decisions instead of just reporting the news. That's what CFO Insights delivers.
Hopefully the sound was good on your side. I mean, yeah. So first of all, the data is fake. So if you wanted to invest in HPE, you can still do it, but not based on this data. So I think what you could see here is that it's well going beyond the visualization and type of automation. It's really trying to interrogate the data, analyze the data so that we can explore live what's going on in the business where we want to dig further. And also this interaction capability to be able to answer questions. I have the president of networking kind of looking forward to using this on a daily basis to be able to answer his questions much faster. And time is of essence in our very dynamic world. But as I said, we are seeing the finish line, but it's still not crossed. And it's a hurdle race. One of the things that we've learned during this transformation and journey is the importance of partnership. As finance, with the business leaders, to engage them early so that they are bought into this vision and capabilities, with operations people who are, and IT, to be able to build the infrastructure that we needed to enable this platform. And with a firm like Deloitte, in order to get the latest AI tools and an outside-in view into what's possible. But there is one aspect that when you do transformation, that is typically a big problem. It's called management of change. And for anyone that has run big transformation, this is the toughest part. The partnership, the vision, the alignment throughout the process are absolutely essential. But most people don't like to be forced into something. They like to drive a change, or at least to see the immediate benefit of a change. And in the networking business, we've been actually, we have acquired Juniper Networks about 6 months ago. It's a $5 billion company, so it's integrated into the overall networking business at Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And as you can imagine, with an integration and acquisition of this size, it's quite disruptive from a data management standpoint. The stewardship of the data, the integrity of the data is disrupted. We have legacy system on one side with Juniper Networks. We have our own system in Hewlett Packard Enterprise. So one of the things we have done is building bridges, platform, databases to consolidate the data. But still, a lot of the way the people were operating with the data, not just finance, but operations people and business leader, they struggle. They struggle because of this disruption. Everything is not the way it used to be. The good news with that for us in terms of transformation is that we have an opportunity to solve a problem, to relieve a pain by introducing Alfred as a solution to the immediacy of a disruption caused by the integration. So we can not only leap forward into the future with this platform, but immediately get people on board because they see a solution to their recurring problems in data crunching, which have been compounded by the Juniper integration. And we do that, then ultimately we will have this system integration, but it's a lengthy process that will take probably another year. So I would like to leave you with 3 thoughts. Number one, AI is a technology that, everybody talks about, but concretely it has quite some potential for finance, for a finance organization. It's definitely something that is enabling to power an operational management process into something that is really cool with machine learning model enabled on top of automation or generative AI in order to create this interaction that a finance professional or business leader can only dream of. So you can make it a reality. It's also enabling to solve some problems, or temporary problems, or sometimes structural problems about system integration underneath to be able to manage the data properly. Number two, the importance of partnership. Mention it. You can't do such a transformation without having the partnership of a business, of operations, of firms like Deloitte in this case, many others. We're working also with Anaplan on some aspect of it. And people working together and sharing ideas and perspective and capabilities is essential in such a journey. And the third thing, I think it's more for finance and the function itself. We, as finance professionals, are known for and gain an excellent reputation for reliability, precision, and this capacity to explain the past. But in today's world, more and more the companies that will win will need to rely on a finance organization that can help shape the future and determine what happens next. And maybe that's the lesson from the Batman movie. A business superhero may get the credit for the great performance, but behind every successful business hero, there may be an Alfred making everything work. Thank you very much. Ready for questions or suggestions?
There's a question here.
Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation. And actually, my question was on the point that you just ended with. So what you're presenting here is the gathering the information, reporting on what has already happened. And that's, a common problem. We all spend days and hours pulling the information together, and then it's stale by the time it's published. So, but are you also looking as part of this project and maybe the next phase of the forward-looking forecasting aspect of the system, drivers-based forecasting model or something where you could, see what's happening in the future, change a number of parameters and see what your forecast is going to look like? So how do you think about, forward-looking forecasting and planning, not just the historical reporting? Thank you.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So with yes, we are definitely focused on solving that problem of immediacy, real-time information to manage the business. But to your point, by having so much data at hand, we can strengthen predictive models and re-engineer our forecasting. So in parallel to that, there are other efforts taking place, which we call creating driver-based models to analyze what are the drivers of our business, leverage the data that we have here to create very powerful models that finance business leaders can use and which will simplify the forecasting process. Definitely, that's the opportunity. We are working in parallel. Are you doing that as well on your side, or? Yeah?
Yeah, we're still way behind compared to where you are, but we're thinking about driver-based forecasting more in real time, not just things to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a journey. I mean, you learn every time you do something here, but I think their persistence is absolutely key. You get the ups and downs. And it took us 18 months to be just there, but we are not yet where we want to be. Probably gonna take 4 to 5 months to finalize that.
Hi, my name is Bhaskar. Can you talk a little bit about your tech architecture? What is the platform behind? What AI models have been used for this whole the CFO Insights product? And also, what is the model? Is it a more pull or push kind of things? I see this more dashboard with the insights. Do you also have any real-time alerts to your CFO? Like if your OPEX is X percentage is over the budget, does CFO gets an alert to real time versus does CFO always have to go to your dashboard and review the insights?
Yeah, so I'm not the best technical person, although I work for a technical company, a technology company, so I try to answer your question. It's multiple ways. First of all, we have an infrastructure built on private cloud. So it's our solution, HP solution, private cloud AI, PC AI. So that's the first thing. And then in terms of engine, from an AI standpoint, that's where the Deloitte partnership is so important because they have developed a capability called Zora AI with us. And that's where the large language model is running. So we get the data, we structure it, and then we have a Zora AI engine to create this type of output. I mean, I'm simplifying it, but that's as far as I can go, or technically.
Thank you. Really interesting presentation. Philip Marek, a quick question on the data behind all this. I think we're on a similar journey where I think we're a little behind because we have a pretty good dynamic reporting with the Snowflake data, with dynamic reporting, but my vision is to bring the AI and chatbot, kind of similar to what you were showing, into it as well. Could you maybe talk a little bit about what do you have to do with the data to enable all this? Like how much curated and structured it had to be in order for the AI bot to be able to retrieve the information the way you present it?
Yeah, so I've probably tried to answer your question with two primary elements around data. First of all, the data structure is essential. And it's a dashboard, but all the shipments, revenue, orders, pipeline, most of this data actually doesn't come from the same system. So we have to build a database that enables us to retrieve this information. The second thing is retrieving the information, but we need to create a nomenclature, what we call data stewardship process, so that the data definitions, and we love to be complex at Hewlett Packard, are standardized. And that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of time to align everyone on these principles. And the other thing is, and I got the example yesterday, of someone in operations doing Power BI report and very good at doing all of this, complaining about some of the data definition. Because you say, I'll give you an example of pipeline, but not everybody has the same understanding of what is pipeline or what we need to look at as pipeline data. So rationalizing all of this is a very important effort. And I would say, I think that's one of the things where, as an approach, what has worked over time is having this kind of federal versus state type of principle. We have, from a federal standpoint, we define the data norms, the structure. It's all centralized. But then, in terms of output, the needs of a networking business are different than the needs of a server business. So you allow the output to have some different colors and visualization components. But ultimately, you need to centralize all this data definition and structure, and so that you can run it at scale. Yes, it's a great question.
Hi there, Yvonne. So thank you for that. I feel like this is definitely something that's relevant for what we're going through as well. So I kind of have a two-part question. The first one is, for your end vision, is that 120-page slide deck that you used to do every month, is that gone completely, or is it just a smaller version of that? And then my second question was, like, when you think of the real-time reporting, is the thought that any of your leaders could go in at, say, mid-month and see how you're tracking? And how would that work? Because really, like in our business anyways, a lot of times you book a lot of entries at the end of the month. So how do you kind of make sure that that information is valid partway through the month?
That's a great question. So I'm not sure I have a definitive answer as to what exactly the end state will look like in terms of, initially we thought, oh, with this vision, if we make it work, we don't need this PowerPoint. I think we will need some of it, maybe a very digestible version of it, and we will run the two in parallel with there's a pre-read, part of what we are trying to enable, a pre-read with those slides so that everybody is prepared about the key performance indicators. And then in the meeting, we would use this tool to actually go through the state of the business and answer questions. That's what we think will happen. It will take time, but I don't think we will necessarily get rid of entirely of the slides. But at least the objective would be condense it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Guillaume.
It was a pleasure sharing this with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got a lot of questions.